we are joined from Cairo by Mr. Mohamed Ezz Eldin, the Ahram Managing Editor. Mr. Ezz Eldin, welcome to Qnews. Now, how does the international community, including Arab states and human rights organizations, view the American proposal to take control of Gaza and facilitate the displacement of its Palestinian residents?
Certainly, as we've all seen, the global denunciation of such statements and comments and some talks reveals that unrealistic and it's about fantasy, but settlement of fantasy. Such statements are a way of the norms of diplomacy and respecting the sovereignty of the stateholds. In addition, that would lead to the weakening of the world peace and security. In addition to the eliminated the Palestinian cause as a whole. Such statements and considered odds do not describe the officials who talked that it is ridiculous or a joke or unrealistic, but shouldn't have gone out of the president of the U.S., particularly that the U.S. is playing a role, and a very important role, sponsoring the peace and the sustainability of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza. Such a statement seems that an attempt to revive of the Century Project that was rejected by the Palestinians and Egypt and all the international community. And this time the U.S. wishes to intervene directly to control the lands and taking advantage of it economically, and the deportations of the Palestinians to other countries, which means the elimination of the Palestinian cause. Certainly, they are unacceptable statements, and there is a commitment of response in the diplomatic arenas and politically. If they are taken too seriously.
Well, Mr. Ezz Eldin, I mean, we are talking about, so far it's a suggestion, it's a statement, but what are the potential long-term consequences of this suggestion for resettling Palestinians from Gaza? How could it impact the regional stability as a whole?
It would jeopardize the regional stability and would lead or ignite more tensions and escalations of violence in the region. The Palestinians wouldn't accept they taking them out of their homeland. The Palestinian cause is an issue of statehood, and what's happening now is the attempt of taking control of the land and do not serve any parts of the region, and would harm the mental image of the United States as a sponsor of the peace process. There is a great international rejection to the such statements, and the UN said that it isn't acceptable to deport the Palestinian from their homeland. Egypt's stance is unwavering since October 2023, and advocated of the calm and to pursue in the peace process. This statement damages the ceasefire deal, particularly some statements related to the completion of the phases of the deal agreement in reaching the return of the Palestinians to their homelands, and If they not returned, once again, I think it would damage the international peace and to the Palestinians and do not serve each party, including the United States itself. Certainly, such statements would serve or rather in favor of Israel and serving the expansion, settlement, and the far right wing and Netanyahu himself, and it is an opportunity to complete the plans of liquidate the Palestinian cause and the completion of the settlement expansion in the West Bank, not only in Gaza Strip.
Yes, well, sir, how does Israel's framing of the US proposal as voluntary migration compare to the Palestinian and global reactions, especially regarding the concerns of ethnic cleansing?
Certainly, European stance along the presidents of European countries denounced such strange statements and unlogic. In addition to the United Nations and the international community, European Union is a great partner of the peace process, along with Egypt, and the mediators have a great role to complete the status of the ceasefire deals and the return of the Palestinians to their homelands, and then to start in the phases of reconstruction in reaching to the negotiations of the establishment of the two-state solutions, and that's what's been agreed upon. And I think it is the realistic and feasible solution that would lead to peace. But talking about taking over the Palestinian territories from the American side and transfer it to Rivera in the Middle East and taking the Palestinian out of their homeland. And I think there are an unrealistic statement and suggestion do not serve the peace of the process, and there is an outrage internationally, and I think the United Nations, the European Union, partners of the peace, on top of which Egypt certainly denounces the deportation of the Palestinians and advocated to complete the fetus of the ceasefire deal, in addition to the delivery of the humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, and to start into new negotiation following the ceasefire, and to empower the Palestinians to run and govern the Gaza Strip and working on the peace process and the reconstruction. This is the logic.
Yes. That was from Cairo, Mr. Mohamed Ezz Eldin, the Al Ahram managing editor. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us here on Q News.